All right. Good afternoon, ASM. It's time to get spooky with some Resident Evil 2 Remake. Now, before we get going, we do have a bid war for this particular game. And that bid war is for the starting costume. Now, while I was talking, we literally had a dono come in and snipe the category. And it says to us from Clock District, $40. Love the Resi block. Put this towards RE2 Noir costume. Absolutely my favorite. And I must say, it's my favorite too.
So that's the winner?
Yes, so the winner is Noir with $60.
You've done good. That's the right choice.
Excellent. So, basically, give me a countdown for when you're ready to go.
Yep. So,
and, yeah, good luck and have fun.
So we start the countdown after this second cutscene, so I'll count you in. So in 3, 2, 1, go. So, hello everyone. I'm Tim Trollgasm. I am joined by the wonderful Katako. She's going to help with commentary.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And right off the bat, we're going to encounter our first reset point. This is Frank. He likes to meme us a lot. So we're going to grab the key. And we're going to try and headshot him on the way out. Like that. And then we're going to run into Claire for the first time. Hi Claire, bye Claire. So, there's going to be some big differences compared to what you might have already seen with other RE2 remake runs, because we're playing on 60 FPS instead of 120. Now, knife is the biggest thing. It's tied to the game's frame rate. As in, the higher the frame rate, the more hits the knife registers per swing, so it deals way more damage. And so the leaderboards were split into 60 FPS and 120 FPS, just so that it wasn't a pay-to-play kind of thing. So people with less powerful computers can still, run the game. And so that's going to change up a few things, mostly boss fights, and then a little bit of routing later on. You might have seen me tapping aim going up staircases. That is stair skating. Now, when Leon finishes his aim animation and comes out into a run, he's got a tiny little speed boost. And so we use that in a rhythmic pattern so that we can get upstairs much faster, because otherwise it's slow and we don't like that. Now we're going to meet Elliot. He's having an absolutely wonderful day. Gets torn in half. Now, the game is measured in in-game time. This zombie behind the door here is not. So we just pause for a few seconds and bang, he just pops through. You don't have to wait for him to bang on the door multiple times. He just comes right in to say hello. Now these guys can be a bit trolly sometimes. We want to just run to the right here. Dodge both of them. Easy clap. So I'm gonna, in a sec, I'm going to explain quick turns, because they make traversing certain areas a lot easier as well. So you'll see me tapping aim much like I'm doing with the stair skates, except I'm immediately putting in a directional input, and Leon will then do a 90-degree turn. And for like tight spaces and stuff, it just makes it much easier to get around, so he's not taking such wide turns. You can probably smash out a dono now if you've got one.
Well, what I can do is just remind everybody of who we are. We are Oz Speedruns, a group doing speedrun events to raise money for charity. For this event, we're raising money for Beyond Blue, a charity working to raise the awareness of mental health issues and reduce the stigma around these issues to help people achieve their best possible mental health. If you'd like to donate, you can go to donate.ozspeedruns.com, chuck in !donate in the chat, and while you're there, make sure to chuck in !incentives too, to see our wonderful bid wars and incentives.
Fantastic. So, I just missed that headshot on Marks. He's another sort of heavy reset point in the run, just because his movement's a bit silly sometimes and you can, you know, get grabbed, and we don't want that. Speaking of grabs, I am going to donate $5 every time I take unintentional damage. So, that's fun. Now, in the library here, we have Eleanor, who is also a big reset point. She can just be in the most horrible spots and grab you like that. That is probably the worst spot you want her in. And coming up to our first medallion puzzle. The starting point of the medallion puzzles are always random, but the solutions are always the same. And so you gotta, you know, sometimes they're run enders as well, depending on how much time save you have in your runs. We've got another neat little trick coming up here. Normally the knockback from the helicopter will send Leon back, but if we angle our camera to the wall there and aim, he'll get pushed forward. Okay. Now inventory is a big thing in Resi games as well. We kind of want to keep our key items in the first couple of slots so that we can just easily get to them when we need them. So by having the bolt cutters in the first slot, I can now just mash the A button. And how are we going with... Yep, there we go. That's going to be $5 right there. He can sometimes be nowhere or right there. And so it's...
Yeah, he's literally the worst.
He is, yeah. That marathon luck, you know?
Could be worse.
Okay, it could be far worse. Okay, so just picking up a couple little items we need to progress here. And we're going to go back through that green hallway and make our way up the stairs again. So we can just run past this guy. And that's Bagels. Sometimes he's another zombie that can be in the worst spot ever, but usually if he's facing away from you, you can just run past him. He's no trouble at all. And we're immediately going to discard the bolt cutters, pick up our detonator. We're going to grab this flash for a little later on. Okay, same with him. Just run past him. No dramas. Now you get to see our first instance of the lickers, and they have this little perk about them where they control you. They control you hard. So we're going to combine the battery to the detonator, run out, hope for the best. Where are ya? Okay, so we're going to keep our camera on the licker because looking at them kind of messes with them a little bit, so they're less likely to just go crazy and destroy you. Right. What are we doing? That one. I know my combinations. Okay. And this one here is fun. We do a little camera manipulation, get Eleanor to lunge at us. And then we're going to push this shelf over now so that we don't have to worry about it later on and save time back like later in the run. Pick up a pouch so we've got more space. Drop the C4 in, and we're going to immediately run out of the room go out this door, and then go back in through the door. Now what that does is that prevents the shelf from falling over when the C4 goes off, so that after we get this medallion we can just book it. And there's two ways to get past this liquor. I like to go this way, around this way, easy peasy, or you can just head straight into him and angle the camera up and he will just not hit you. Okay, so we have iframes coming down from that ladder, so that's why those zombies do nothing. And zombies, only 2 zombies can lunge at a time in RE2 Remake, which is very good. Sometimes we get 3 zombies, and then it creates this whole little thing of them finishing their lunge animation, and the third one decides he wants to have a dig at you as well. Okay, going into this little secret room, and we're coming up to our first boss, which is Mr. Birkin. Now, what do we say about Birkin, Katako?
Birkin, no Birkin.
No Birkin. Now, this fight it's pretty similar to the 120 FPS route, except for the fact that our knife does less damage, so it will take many more hits to get him down. I believe 15 is good on 120S, but we'll get him in about 38. Just going to run right up to him. When he starts to move, we're going to circle around him a bit. And then when he starts to mutate, I want to make sure I am standing probably around here. And then just keep following him around so that he doesn't grab us. Last time we want us to get grabbed. If he grabs us, we have to use the knife. And we don't want to do that, because that wastes time. Okay, easy fight.
Easy fight. Well done.
Easy fight. Thank you. Gonna wait for this slow bridge to come across. Practice our dancing while we're at it. I'm going to pick up an extra pouch here. Normally in PB runs you wouldn't, but because this is a marathon and I want some extra inventory space for knives and heals and stuff, we're going to pick this one up. And now we're going to meet Leon's one true love, Ada Wong. And
hey, I'm not done talking to you.
She's gone. And in this prison section here, we're going to meet Ben, who is probably the most important character of the game. No cap. Actually, wait, he's dead. I lied. Kappa. Mr. X full just busts through the wall and crushes him. It's great. We are fast approaching one of the biggest memes of the game. You might have heard people say the cutest?
The cutest meme.
The cutest meme. Damn.
Yes.
Got it all wrong. You might have heard the phrase dogs are free once or twice. I can assure you dogs are very much not free. In fact, I believe one of my moderators called dogs getting timmed for a while there. Dogs can be free, or they can absolutely destroy you.
Yeah, the aim of the game to successfully get out of here is you basically want to just hit nothing, get out of there as fast as possible, and take very specific lines.
Very
Because the
specific
dogs
lines.
in this area, their movement's always the same.
Oh, yeah. One little slip up. Oh, yeah, I mean, there have been times where like, a line's been pretty good, but a dog will still just nip you in the back because why
Yeah,
not?
but is it perfect?
Maybe not. Close enough. Near perfect.
Near perfect.
You work
alright.
with what you're given, alright, Katako?
Yeah, you work with what you got, I get it.
Okay. That wasn't too bad. We've got another fun little strat coming up in just a moment. Now, the RE community have named a lot of the zombies, like the troublesome zombies, but I don't believe that they have named this one. So, I'm going to call him Hector. And anyone that has watched my X-Files speedruns will know exactly what that means. So we're going to get a
the people who
pretty
don't.
precise angle. There you go. Oh, hang on. So Hector is the worst boss in the X-Files. He will just lose runs. He kind of has this neat little thing where he'll either just full potato and the fight's over in seconds, or he will just run around the room and you can't manipulate him at all. It's the worst. So what was intended for that area was that zombie was not supposed to grab me. And I just kind of quick turn around both of them, and then we put the fuse into the fuse box. But marathon luck. Also no damage, because I knifed him, so we're still at 5. That part can be really terrible too if you don't have like the spare knives to defend yourself, because if he grabs you and puts you on the ground, that just throws out the positioning of both zombies, and it can be just awful to deal with. So I'm going to pick up some ammo here because I'm running a little bit low. In this part here, we want to run in a very specific line after we've activated this switch. And we just slip on by. So I'm not putting that one in the first slot because we only use that key once. Extra knives for that specific reason. Okay, and when we go through this door, we're going to meet everyone's favourite fedora-wearing party boy, Mr. X.
Milady.
Milady. Now, if we stand about here and aim at his head, he's going to do this lunge at us, and we're just going to run right past him.
It really makes you feel like a good gamer when you dodge
It does,
that
yeah.
man.
The first time I got that, I was like, yes! Untouchable! And then he slapped me later on. I was like, okay. Okay, we're going to go back down this hallway for a third time, except we now have a licker to deal with. So we're going to aim our camera up. And hope that it cooperates. We're going to shoot him. I think I missed that shot, so we'll see what happens when I come out of the room. The idea is to shoot the licker so that when we come out after picking up this crank that we're about to grab, he's moved to another end of the that floor. We don't have to deal with him. I think it worked anyway. Okay, now we're at $10.
You're a broke man.
That was very close. Jeez. Okay, just quickly heal there. Leon actually goes up the stairs slower, even stair skating when he's in caution. I don't know how much slower he is, but it's definitely slower. Now we're going to shoot about here, and what that will hopefully do is convince some of the zombies to move towards that sound, so that they don't bother us while we're moving shelves around the place. Leon, thank you. Okay, now we got some pretty good RNG there, so don't have to worry about anything there. If you have any donos or anything, now's probably a good time. We're literally just doing a very simple cog puzzle to get some electronic parts.
Excellent. Well, I'm very pleased to report we have 2 fantastic donations that I'm very excited to read out. The first one is a $20 anonymous donation that says, "Good evening from the US. Pumped for all the amazing RE runs. Put this towards the Phonics Phonics Racing incentive. That is our current dono goal of $400. It now has a whole $20 in it. We need to make sure we get that one done by the end of the day because we're going to run out of time and it comes up quicker than you think." We also have a $36 donation from Harlan who says, "Good luck on the run, Tim. I'm ruining my sleep schedule for this, but it's worth it to help you blame Hector." This
Shout outs to Harlan.
Naming the trainer in Let's Go Pikachu, Hector.
Oh, huge shout outs to Harlan.
Good on you, Harlan. All for a good cause, mate.
All for a good cause. Who needs sleep when you can watch Resident Evil?
Exactly.
And with that donation, that takes the Let's Go Pikachu dono race to Melvin Dew is still winning by $11 at 57. Hector is a close second at 46, and Evie is a distant third with 5.
So what, at 15 now? So with that there, you kind of want to like bait him just a little bit, but he was moving too far forward. Like just a bit too quick, and so the manipulation didn't really work as intended. Okay. So now we've got both electronic puzzle parts. We're going to head back to the prison where Ben got destroyed. Okay, take care of him. Take care of him. Ah! Wonderful. They know it's for charity.
It's tactical. It's DA reduction.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, we should probably explain the dynamic difficulty of the game. Basically, like every Resident Evil game since RE4, the game has a dynamic difficulty. So the more like items you pick up, the more shots you place, the more shots you miss, will adjust the difficulty of the game ever so slightly. Wow. Okay. So we're at now 20, 25.
Oh, I've lost count.
I think
sorry.
Let's just say 25. It's for charity.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Easy peasy. So yeah, so the more damage you take, the easier the game will get, just like by small increments.
And yeah, speedrunners will literally hold like bare minimum bullets and all that sort of stuff because that also affects it.
It does. I'm wonderful at this puzzle. I just absolutely love it. It's very easy to go. Yeah, man, it's very easy to go too quick. Because 60 FPS does like to eat your inputs a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst for discarding though. So we're going to shoot him, run a few steps, throw this flash grenade, get grabbed. The flash will cancel the grab animation of that zombie and that will blind everyone. So we can just run through and we don't have to deal with any of them.
Very nice.
Now's another good spot for donos if you have any. Or even just like plug ASM.
Well, 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 we have a $30 donation from Dark Inferno that says, for Hector, for Let's Go Pikachu. And that now pushes Hector into the lead over Melvin Do, still at 57, and Evie at 5.
Let's go.
Go, Hector.
Hector's just weaseling his way into everything. You can read more if you've got some more.
Well, what exactly are you looking for?
This is a pretty
Well, I
not
can go
eventful
over
part.
some of our fantastic donation incentives, which you can read in chat if you type in !incentives into chat. Now, we have an upcoming donation incentive for Phonics Racing Adventures All Gems category. That goal is $400, and we currently have $20 donated to it. The time will run out very quickly if we do not get onto it pretty quick. So, I highly recommend that if you want to see the amazing All Gems category of Phonics Racing Adventure, you want to get your donos in quick, smart. We also have, after that donation incentive, the Alex Ryder Stormbreaker donation incentive, which is to change the category to any % hard. That is a $500 donation goal, and that currently has no money attributed to it. So, we have some really cool donation incentives coming up, but we need to get some money in to get them met.
Based on what you've said, the sewer seems big.
So coming up, we've got probably the most useless part of the game. We get this nice little auto-scrolling section, like Crash Bandicoot style auto-scrolling section with a giant alligator, which I believe everyone got super excited about when they were like, hey, the alligator's going to be in the remake, and then they just completely nuffed the section. And then after that, we have probably the biggest chore of the run, which is Ada section.
Is that an earthquake? What the hell?
So I'm a little low on ammo still, so I'm going to pick up some here. Nice conveniently placed ammo. It's like, hey, almost like there's something coming. Convenience.
Ken? No chance. You're stuck with me in the end.
This is pretty easy. We just go to the left. He's going to have a crack. And go to the right. He's going to have another crack. And go left again. And straight down the middle. Okay, pick up that grenade for a little bit later on too.
Chew on that, you overgrown son of a bitch.
So I'm gonna let Leon handle all the cussing in this run, just to prove a point to someone very specific.
Leon, up here.
So Leon and Ada are gonna argue for a little bit, and then we'll be able to control Ada. Already arguing like a married couple.
You said the virus turned people into monsters, not reptiles.
Honeymoon period over.
It's been what, 20 minutes?
Yeah, that's a long-term relationship for Leon.
Well, yeah. And he just mopes about it for the next 20 years. Imagine wanting Ada when you could have Ashley Graham Kappa.
Our sells monsters like that to who? Our military? Somebody else?
I don't know if anyone else can instinctively hear Ashley in your head whenever that name is mentioned.
Leon! Help! It's just ingrained. Night terrors. Alright, so basically we find Annette, who Ada's been looking for the whole time. She gets angry and tries to shoot Ada, but Leon, being a true gentleman, takes the bullet and she just leaves him. And then we get this really fun hacking device, and literally all we're going to do is just spam the trigger. The fun thing about these... Sorry?
Go on.
No, you go.
No, I was going to say, isn't hitting the trigger makes it faster?
Yeah, if you
So
mash
just
the
holding
trigger,
it
it goes a little bit faster than just holding it down. And we don't have to wait for it to like fully fill up on the bar. It just, you can get it sort of most of the way there and it'll just finish it off for you. I'm going to try and take a very precise line here. I may have ruined that, so I'm not going to go for the dodge. If you take a very precise line, you can actually dodge this zombie here. Just like run right past him. So I'm going to go the long way around. It just means we have to be a bit more prepared on the way back because he's probably waiting for us. We'll try and headshot him. There we go.
First try, thank you.
First try, I know. I'm gonna have to just become an Apex player. Okay. So now Mr. X is gonna pop up to say hi. Hello, Mr. X. But we haven't got time for that. We gotta find a net. Oh, now we don't see Mr. X until much later. Seeing Mr. X use doors must trigger Mango so hard.
He's evolving.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to pick up this little wristband, and that's going to allow us to do things later on in the labs. I'm going to empty my clip here, and that just ever so slightly lowers our DA.
Yeah, this part can be a bit clutch, especially because you've got such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But he's doing it very well.
Casual playthroughs are like a couple of attempts, just like, oh wow, that's a thing. But yeah, once you know the layout, it's pretty easy. It's just getting your aim on point, and you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to be like right on it because it's a pretty big hitbox on the reticle there. Okay. So now Leon wakes up and realizes that his lover has left him. So he's gonna go look for her. Man is persistent.
So now we've entered the sewer section of the run, which is probably one of the more tedious parts of this run, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. It's got a couple of sections that are just the worst, which are also really big reset points. So what we're going to do here is we're going to run past old mate. He's usually pretty chill. I'm going to hopefully headshot old mate. Nope. There we go. I don't know, I always find his movement like so weird that getting a first try headshot is few and far between. Just a big old bobblehead. So now we get introduced to another enemy type, which are the G-adults. And they're big slimy boys, and they have ridiculously large hitboxes. But this one here, he's pretty free. We're just gonna shoot him, run on past him. Easy peasy. Okay, and so in this cutscene, Leon learns that Ada has been injured, and being the good cop and the massive nerd that he is, he decides that he's going to go and rescue her. Pick up some ammo. So running low again. About T-bar, make sure it's in the first slot because we don't want to be wasting time with inventory, right? Okay. Now sometimes this guy can be facing the other way and you can just run on right past him, but I was a little slow getting to there, so he was sort of in a different spot than I would have liked him to have been. I'm going to try and de-leg old mate here. Make him a little easier to deal with on the way back, so we only really have to focus on the zombie in the high-vis vest. And just stick to the left here, we run past this G-adult. Pick up
So
this
really,
pouch.
the aim of the game. Oh, go on.
No, I was going to say we're going to pick up this pouch, then we're going to collect our first chest piece, which we actually ran past earlier. But as you can see now, picking it up causes that bridge to raise. I'm going to get back in here as soon as possible so this zombie doesn't have a grab at us. And then Katako is going to tell us what she was going to say.
Basically, exactly that. You know, the aim of the game right now is to collect all these chess pieces to do a fancy little Resident Evil puzzle later.
Okay, so because he was up walking around, we're going to shoot him, then jump down. That'll give us enough time to get past him. And I can sort of aim and get up here. And now this part, I'm gonna get Katako to explain this part coming up because it can be really Monka-esque and I kind of want to focus.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm happy to take over for a little bit. So yeah, literally the next part that's coming up, there's about 3 G-adults that Tim has to dodge on the way to get the rest of the chess piece puzzles. And if they grab you, they can poison you, or you can waste your knife or your grenade. So the first one, he's just going to treat like the first G-adult we came across. He's going to shoot it, he's going to jump out, and he's going to run straight past it. So hopefully the next one behaves and he's going to be able to just slide right past him, no issues, and onto the puzzle.
Okay, so this part here is where the 120 FPS and 60 FPS route changes ever so slightly, because as stated before, 120 FPS knife is very powerful and 60 FPS knife isn't. We actually have to pick up flamethrower. We wouldn't normally pick that up in 120 FPS. We use the flamethrower for a couple of boss fights coming up. So just going to pick up these last couple of things. Okay, he's fine. Sometimes this guy can just fall from the ground and just not get up. We call that a crawler, and crawlers are the best, but unfortunately for me, I did not get a crawler. So now we're just gonna do this little door puzzle with the chess pieces, which took me way longer than I cared to admit in my first playthrough.
Oh, I think everyone had trouble with it.
Oh, I was at it for a while. So now we get to make our way back past the slimy boys again.
Which I think tends to be harder going back through there
yes.
because they're all in different positions.
Correct. Okay, so where is he? Get down, Leon. So that was pretty good RNG. Now there's a couple of ways we can do this part. Yeah, you can either get up on this little ledge on the side here, shoot it with the gun in the eye 3 times, or just flamethrower. Just use the flamethrower.
Just burn it.
Yeah, kill it with fire.
We got the cool weapon. We're going to use the cool weapon.
Yeah, it's like a new toy. Like, you know, you get the new toy,
Exactly.
you throw the old toy out, and you play with the new toy.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's hope we get some good RNG going up these stairs here. Easy.
Oh. Wow.
So I'm going to box some things. Normally we wouldn't box, but again, this is a marathon. I'm going to be picking up some extra items in the labs. I've got plenty of inventory space, but this is just precautionary measures. So we're going to box things that we don't need. We're going to solve this silly puzzle. I think the pawn is the only one that doesn't move, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
G2.
G2. Birkin.
G2, we're on to our next boss.
Birkin. So normally in G2 on a 120 FPS, you just knife him. Just knife everything. But we don't have that luxury, so... Fun fact, that's the same combination as the Evil Within 2 puzzle. Okay, so we're gonna stand about here. I'm gonna lob this grenade, run, and hopefully that will skip the first phase. That'll damage him just enough that we don't have to worry about him punching through the ceiling. We can just immediately get to the next phase. I'm gonna let Katako describe what's going on here, because again, focus.
All good, mate. So what we are going to do now is basically just run and then launch ourselves off of this little platform. Now, I've seen many a grown adult rage at this area because it's a sticky fight and it's in such a small zone.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
we're going to
I am
activate this crane. Yes, you are. Me
Yes.
too. So we're activating this crane, and really, for this fight, we use 98% flamethrower and a bit of the knife. So he's going to drop G2, and he's going to knife him until that little bell dings to tell us that the crane's ready to come back through. Because you need to kill G2 with that crane. So...
I like
So
to give him
now-
an extra poke just to be safe, and then shoot him a couple of
yeah.
times. Just so many runs have been like, oh yeah, I've done, you know, the strat perfectly, and then, oh, maybe I missed a knife hit or something, you know, and then he just gets up. So I poke him one extra just to be safe.
But that was a nice, good fight.
That was a lovely fight. Okay, and now Leon to the rescue. Ada's all bandaged up.
My
now,
hero.
My hero. Yeah, this is where she finally stops like arguing with him about dumb things.
And onto the everyone's favourite
Oh.
area.
The best part of the game. No runs ever
Best.
die here. Ever.
I mean, could we sneak in a dono if they have one?
Yeah, for sure.
Well. Eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that Hector has shot right up into the lead with 226,
Wow.
which is because the
Far
previous
out.
donation that was not attributed to any incentives was retroactively attributed to Hector. Now,
Wow.
if you have donated earlier in the marathon and you're thinking, oh man, I didn't know about these cool dono incentives, type in chat, find a way to get in touch with whoever's hosting. We will attribute your donation to wherever you want. Just make sure you keep those donations coming in because we have some awesome goals coming up that we would really love to hit. I've already mentioned some of the ones coming up soon, but has anybody scrolled right down to the bottom and seen the world's hardest game?
Oh,
That
yeah.
dono incentive is $2,000 and it's currently sitting at 35. If we're gonna meet that, we need to get our skates on, everybody.
We can do this. I'm pretty keen for that, so I'm for sure going to be donating for that later.
Well, with all the grabs you're getting, you'll be able to hit the goal soon,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah, it'll all be me.
Oh, Tim.
So I'm going to pick up an extra knife here just because we're a little short. And he's a jerk. So he's going to be in a really terrible spot when I come out there. So grabbing that extra knife will be like, just stab him. Don't have to worry about trying to quick shot him or anything like that. I could try, but... Yep. That was expected.
Oh, you've got extra knives, so it's
I
not
do
too
have extra
bad.
knives, yeah. Like, even in PB attempts, a lot of the time I will just knife him. I'll just use the knife on him, because it's... If he's right at the door there, trying to get that quick shot off is sometimes a bit yikes. And a lot of the time, your DA is spiked quite a bit, and so a single headshot sometimes doesn't stagger him. And so you can think you're good, and he'll just... done.
So there's a bit of downtime right now. If you guys
There
wanted
is,
to
yeah.
say anything,
Yeah.
Well, it's been a solid 2 seconds since I last plugged our donation incentive, so I'm going to chat about who we are. We're Oz Speedruns, a group doing speedrun events to raise money for charity. For this event, we're raising money for Beyond Blue, a charity working to raise the awareness of mental health issues and reduce the stigma around these issues to help people achieve their best possible mental health. If you'd like to donate, you can go to donate.ozspeedruns.com or chuck in !donate in the chat.
Okay, so now we're
Perfect timing.
entering some... Yeah, perfect timing. Entering these codes to unlock the doors we need to get to this fun little puzzle here, which is the cartridge that holds the... well, it's a weed killer, basically. But we have to not only do this fun puzzle to fill it up, but then we have to go downstairs and freeze it, because we can't use it at the hot temperature that it is at. So, this is a pretty simple puzzle. Again, it's one of those puzzles that really trip people up to start with, but it's literally just, you know, red, green, then blue, red, green, then blue, red, green. It does change in B scenario, but in both A scenarios, red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green. Easy.
there's nothing worse than inputs being eaten on that puzzle.
Yep. Okay, so picking up a grenade, because we need that in just a moment. And then we get to meet our new friends, the Ivies, who are definitely not my least favourite enemies in this game. So we've got to try and shoot their bulbs, which, as you can see, can be quite the task. Ivies do not mess around. If an Ivy grabs you and you don't have a defense item, that's it, you're done. It is a one-hit kill. We're just going to lob this grenade over here. I'm going to stick to this wall. And I'll look up because there's a lick up. Okay, I'm going to go up these stairs. And grab the signal modulator, which then leads us to a very stressful part of the run. So when we go back down these stairs, we're going to have two lickers hanging around. And lab lickers very much kill runs. probably the
Oh, easy.
run killer of the labs is the lickers. So I'm gonna try and get this right. It's 30. So that licker is not on the roof, which is bad. Basically, we want both lickers to be on the ceiling when we throw that grenade, and they'll both fall down, and then they both just kind of flail around, and you can run past them. But because he was not on the ground, he's going to be a nuisance. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Now, I did pick up an extra flash on the way out of RPD for this section specifically, because normally we'd only have the 2 flash grenades, and we have to kind of YOLO running past them. And sometimes that can be a bit of a pain too. So we've called our weed whacker. I'm going to go back upstairs to where we first got the cartridge for it. That's where it is. Okay.
Oh, that was clutch.
That was. Wow.
Don't say we don't put on a good show.
Internal screaming. Okay, so we're gonna try and shoot him. Okay, Leon, calm down. It's not that bad, bro. Okay, so now everything's dead for now, and so we're going to run around here, and we're going to get this level 3 wristband that just fell from this corpse. And then Mr. X is going to poke his head in and say hello again, but we don't have time for Mr. X. Mr. X just wants a friend. Too bad.
We got too many friends.
Too many friends. We got an Ada to find. Well, we found her, I suppose, but we got... Okay, so what are you doing, buddy? We're going to YOLO that. Yep, okay. Sometimes, if they're, like, not facing you, they'll just sleep real hard. I'm going to pick this up for G3, just in case. He did lunge at the end there, but yeah, usually if they're, like, not facing you, you can't really shoot the bulbs. So, you can't really stop to shoot the bulbs, so you just leg it.
Basically.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna pick this grenade up just for like end game, just on the off chance that I do have to use this knife on an Ivy or something, because there is a manip, but if I fail it, I'll have to use the item. So, grab the grenade just in case. Pretty sure there's a red herb around here somewhere that I'm going to pick up.
Yeah, there definitely is.
This is because G3, like we say, Birkin, no Birking, but Birkin likes to Birkin a lot in G3. So
Yeah, he's a big burger in G3.
he is. I have a name for him, but it's not marathon appropriate, so we won't say it. Alright.
Yeah, he'll probably feel the joke.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to get Kat to sort of describe what I'm attempting to do in this fight here.
My favourite fight of all time, G3. So basically, this fight is all flamethrower. I'm correct, right? All flamethrower?
Yeah, all flamethrower, yeah.
So you want to stay sort of close enough to G3, but not too close. because you can sort of bait out very certain attacks with this, and you just keep that flamethrower on him the entire time. If you do it well enough, he'll go into his second phase very briefly, but then straight into his third. So right now he's misbehaving, unfortunately for us.
But this is good. If he goes to grab this thing, we're just going to run up to him and circle around, and he's not going to hit us at all.
Yeah. So we just absolutely keep racing him. Pray he goes to his second phase. There we go.
Yep, so that's, I think, 35 now. Now he's a big angry boy.
And now he's in his third phase. So we can still do damage here as he's grabbing the wall. But if he grabs that wall, we have to wait for the animation to finish before we can kill him.
Correct. Okay. How much ammo have I got? Okay, 4 bullets is plenty. I've got a knife as well. Sweet.
GG, real nice.
Thank you. It was he has this little tendency to sort of play up in that first little turn, and it could be movement based on my part. But yeah, the idea is you get around him, he swings and misses, and then you can just get him to back up into that sort of starting section of the arena, and he's just like, he's no trouble. But we messed up a little bit, but still a decent fight.
Yeah, exactly right, man. You didn't die.
Not yet.
Well, don't say that.
Touch wood. Right, so we have no use for this flamethrower, so I'm just going to waste it.
Because yeah, for the next fight, you don't really use anything.
We use the knife.
Except for a knife.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, that's one of those boss fights that's different to 120 FPS. 120 FPS, again, is literally just using the knife. I think in older routes, they may have used the shotgun, but yeah, it's all knife now. So, have you got a quick dono you want to knock out before we do this next section? And that's great.
Well, just heading into this final set of, but honestly, personally, my personal favorite part of the entire game. I'm just gonna real quick just update everybody on where we are with the all gems category for Phonics Racing Adventure. So we are still sitting at 20 out of 400, and we will need to get our skates on if we want to get that donation incentive met. I'm pretty sure Hector has won Let's Go Pikachu by a country mile, but you never know. More donos can come in and snipe that anytime you like. Yeah, that's the thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
So what I did there was try to place 2 perfectly placed shots. The first one worked, the second one didn't, and what that does is it kind of distracts the ivies and you can just kind of slip one right by. But the second one wasn't playing, so... Okay, we run past Mr. X. And much like the other boss fights, I'm going to get Katako to take over because I have a tendency to get a little greedy with my knife slashes in this fight and can just get thrown around. So...
That's what I'm here for, too.
Thank you, Kat. Okay. So pick up this plug, and then we're going to initiate the final boss fight.
So yeah, like stated earlier, for this fight you only use the knife. So you'll see that the Tyrant has one fiery huge arm and one little one. So we want to hang on the side with his little arm and just slash him until he staggers 3 times. That's all the damage that we need to do to him to finish the game.
I'm not sure if that was 2 or 3, so that's like $50 now, but that's okay.
I think. But yeah, so once all the big rocks start falling down, it's normally a good tell. But yeah, so then we just wait out the timer.
Yep.
And hang on his weak side. I'll call it his weak side. We'll just hang there and sort of walk around. That's all you need to do.
Literally, all I'm
really
doing is just waiting for him to slash and walk forward.
Yeah. So it kind of makes a final boss look a bit like a chump. but
Hey, you got a
It's
couple
fine.
of good hits on me, he's right.
But yeah, and once the timer runs out, some mystery person's going to throw us a very handy weapon, and that's what we will need to finish it.
Speaking of, okay, so we're gonna bait an attack. Shoot Mr. X. What's left of him is just gonna fall to the ground. Do we pour one out for Brutal?
Pour one out for Brutal.
Well, there we go. That's an end joke from my stream, and that's time. We pour one out for Brutal on bad runs. I.e. we shoot an extra rocket. $57.52, that's not bad. What was the RTA time?
That'd be a 59.30, but I accidentally clicked above the button instead of on the button,
Oh.
so it should really be a 59.29.
We're under estimates, so that's all that matters.
GG.
That was
GG.
a fantastic run. I'm very impressed.
Thank you. It was very fun.
It was so clean. I was genuinely in awe watching a lot of that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, he got a lot of good RNG.
A lot of
exactly what he
that
needed.
G adult on the way back that was just not there was just
Wow, that was beautiful.
can't wish for anything better than that. Okay, well that's RE2 Remake. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Shout out to Catco. We're actually going to do a virtual couch swap in just a moment.
Yeah.
Thanks to Noops for the host. It was very kind of you, sir. I felt the enthusiasm and energy.
It comes with the territory, you know.
Comes with the territory, I'm sure. All right, so yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thank you very much. Had a blast.
Excellent.